and welcome. Today we are going to be talking about building the F chord from the Mel Bay Modern Guitar Method Grade 1 book. So our first little exercise is 2 notes. What we're doing is we're practicing our first finger bar on a C and an F. We're just practicing, making sure that we can hear those notes nice and clearly. Here's our exercise. 2, 3, 4. Again, 2, 3, 4. We're just working on those 2 notes. So nothing too major. Well, maybe it is. 3 notes is next. So now we're going to continue our bar and we're going to be putting an A on the bottom of that. Just like that. And of course we're already familiar with this little voicing. We've already been practicing it, but this is just an additional little practice to make sure that we can hear each note nice and full, nice and clearly. A, C. Let's count that off. 1, 2, here we go. Very nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of combine 2 of the voicings that we already know. We're already familiar with F, A, and C. We've been practicing this chord. And we've been practicing now our upper F. Now we're going to combine them and we're going to have all 4 notes with a doubled F. F, A, C, F. And your bar is right there on top. And just practicing it for a minute. Getting your fingers used to that shape. And then here we go into the exercise. 1, 2, here we go. 3, 4. Very nice. So that's just a little practice for, again, making sure that we can hear each note nice and clearly within that bar. And we're taking it kind of nice and easy, just practicing this one chord. So what you heard me playing at the beginning of the video was the 4-string chord study. It was my little variation on that. So what we're doing here is we're using a little arpeggio line to get ourselves into the chord that we're about to play. So we're giving ourselves the ability to build the chord in time. There's our C chord, our F chord, back to C, and the full exercise goes like this. With this one, I put an additional on here. For my second time, I usually reverse the G7 and the F chord. So I play the G7 chord first. Let me show you that. This is the first time. So it's always a good idea to be able to give yourself that extra little practice. So play around with being able to switch your fingers between the chords, and also pay attention to how they sound and how you want to group that. Does it sound stronger if you go to the G7 first and then to the F and have that kind of weaker cadence from F into C the first time? G7, F, C, as written. But that's the idea, you know, taking some of this stuff and really asking yourself some questions. So here's a fun little correction in the book. Both of these two 4-string chord study exercises are called exercise number 1. So this is also exercise number 1. And what we're doing is now we're actually strumming the chords in time. 2, 3. I tried my little switching the chord around part with that one too, and I don't think I really liked it as much. I think that keeping this one as is probably the way to go. There we have it. So one thing that's really neat about once you get these little bar shapes down is that you're going to start seeing some of your first movable shapes around the fingerboard. And I would really like to show you some of that stuff and some of the fun things that you can do with that, and to start trying to create some of your own little ideas. So we're back to our C and F, right? One cool thing about this is that we can move it up. We can move this up to the 3rd fret and play D and G. This is all with the first finger. It's just a first finger practice. And especially if we're really practicing this first finger and moving it, what it does is it's going to help us be able to free our other fingers to be able to play like other melodic things. But let's take it one step at a time. Speaking of one step at a time, you can take a whole step again, play E and A. So that's pretty cool. Now you can move it up to the 8th fret, play a G and a C. 10th fret, A and D. Even your 12th fret. There's your B and your E. So you have like an almost pseudo pentatonic scale. Another cool thing that you can do, you actually just heard that, so we can go right into that. You can add an open G. Into all those, and it sounds great. You see what I did there? I just used my upper. To just find other notes. And I'm completely out of time right now. I'm completely out of time. But I'm just kind of searching around and finding. And I just started asking myself, okay, I have these little melodic ideas. Does it go into the C chord? And it actually went right into it. So we can start coming up with our own little ideas with some of the stuff that we're practicing. So take that and roll with it. See if you can come up with some melodic ideas. Alright, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching the video, feel free to give me the subscribe if you want to, like the video if you found it helpful, and glad to be back, and glad to be here. I'll talk to you next time. Thank you for being here.